Alright, so you need to make sure you know the fin. So like last time, or the last practical, you know, because of that message on Blackboard, the skeletal structures will be on the next practical, okay? So, make sure you know like the fins, the different fins of the fish. Okay, so right here is the pectoral fin, down here. Okay, down over here is the pelvic fin. Okay, over here is the anal fin. Okay, the big fin in the back is the caudal fin. And you have to know that it has a homocircle tail. Heterocircle. It says heterocircle in your lab, right?
No, it says homocircle.
It says homo, okay.
Oh.
Trying to trick me. It's homocircle. Okay. That means that the dorsal and ventral side are roughly about the same size. Okay. There's two dorsal fins up here at the top. There's the posterior dorsal fin and the anterior dorsal fin. So you could take these and kind of lift them up here. So the anterior dorsal fin have these rays. Those are the spines. And they're called actinotrichia. Okay, so you have to know that. You have to know that the anterior dorsal fin is made out of actinotrichia rays. Whereas the more posterior dorsal fin has rays that are made from lepidotrichia. Okay. So make sure you know that. Alright? Alright, so for the internal anatomy, alright, so under the gills, down in here, this structure right in here is the heart. Now next Tuesday I'll go over the circulatory system in more detail, but for right now I'll just say that that yellowish kind of structure is the heart. Let's see if I can increase the brightness. It's a little better. Okay. So the next structure, well, the most obvious thing that you'll probably see over this area, the region of the stomach, is the liver. Okay, that will be covering your stomach. And there's a small piece of it in this guy. Okay, so this is part of the liver. Okay, and underneath of it is the stomach. Okay, so you'll have to kind of, you know, cut away the liver, remove it, push it off to the side, and then reveal the stomach. Okay. Try to be careful when you're dissecting these things. I know you had to like get through a lot of muscle and the rib cage and all that stuff. But we're going to be using your dissected fish for the practical. So if you mutilate them, then we'll have a fun time trying to do ID things on the practical. So try not to mutilate it too badly. Alright. So once you kind of remove the liver, you'll have the stomach here. This is the stomach. Okay, some of you guys have stomach, and like the finger-like portion of the stomach, it extends out really far. Okay. But this portion of the stomach is the cardiac portion of the stomach. In here. Okay. And then what you want to find is a little offshoot of the stomach. Actually, I want to use this other fish. It's a better example for the stomach. Okay, so here again is the stomach on this fish. Okay, so cardiac portion of the stomach here. Okay, and then the part that goes down right here is the pyloric portion of the stomach. And then it narrows into this little pinch right here. Okay, the part where the stomach pinches is called the pyloric sphincter. Alright? Pyloric sphincter. On the other side of the pyloric sphincter are the pyloric ceca. Pyloric ceca with finger-like appendages. Okay? So you have the cardiac portion of the stomach, pyloric portion, pyloric sphincter, pyloric ceca. Okay? And then, after the pyloric sphincter is the intestine. The first fold of the intestine is called the duodenum. Okay, duodenum. So right there, that first bend. Now within the first bend of the intestine, you want to look for the pancreas. Okay. So pancreas will be like whitish, yellowish tissue that will kind of just like look like mesentery, like this connective-like tissue. Okay, but it's right in there. Let's see if we can focus this. So yeah, this yellowish stuff in here, in the middle of the duodenum, that's the pancreas. On yours, it will look less mutilated, and it will be tighter, and closer together. There'll be more mesentery. Okay, but in the duodenum, in that first fold of the intestine, you'll find the pancreas. Let's look for that. What else? So, also, you'll find a darker colored long organ. Okay, that's the spleen. All right. This one has been kind of dislocated, but it should be more ventrally located. Okay. A lot of you guys probably found fish with big, giant ovaries. Okay, here's the ovary on this fish. That's covering a lot of the intestines. And how you tell it's an ovary is if you could stick your probe into it, and if inside it looks really granular, okay, then you know it's an ovary. If it's more rubbery, then you probably have a testes. Okay. Alright, so make sure you can identify whether your perch is a male or female. Yeah, gonads. Okay. Oh, and here's the spleen on this guy, right there. Another example of a spleen. Okay. So along the vertebrae area over here, in this general region, you might have cut through a clear sac, and that's the gas bladder. Okay, the gas bladder is up here. So in the practical, we might like pierce a pin through that clear sac and ask what that is, and we're referring to the gas bladder. There's also dark spots. The reflection kind of makes it so you can't see it too well, but there's dark spots in here, and that's all part of the kidney. Okay. Okay, so make sure you can identify the dark spots up there on the dorsal side. There's a couple structures like the ureter and the urinary bladder, which are a little difficult to find on these ones, so I might go around and try to look for an example on your specimens. Okay. The last thing that I want to go over is the musculature. Okay, if you cut into if you cut into the musculature of your fish, okay, they're made up of segments called myomeres, and you'll need to know that the myomeres that are more dorsally located are called epaxial, and the ones that are ventrally located are hypaxial. So hypaxial myomere down here, epaxial myomere is up here, okay? So I think that's pretty much it. Go ahead and dig into your fish, and I'll come